Honda Canada shocked the industry this morning by announcing a 2-year pause on its $15 billion electric vehicle investment plan in Alliston, Ontario. The same project praised months ago by the Prime Minister and Ontario's Premier, the one expected to reshape North America's EV supply chain, is now officially delayed until at least 2027. But the real story isn't the delay. It's the global forces pushing one of the world's most reliable automakers into a strategic retreat. Before we continue, this is Maple States. Help us reach 999 subscribers, 499 likes, and 250 comments. Your support helps us bring clear, fact-based reporting on stories shaping our future. Behind the polished showrooms and familiar commercials, Honda is confronting a crisis many didn't see coming. The company best known for reliability is now projecting a collapse in profits approaching 60%. The numbers are brutal. Honda's global losses are estimated at $4.3 billion, and more than half of that comes directly from U.S. import duties under President Trump's sweeping tariff program, where rates climbed between 25% and 50% on key auto components. Each vehicle crossing into the U.S. now carries an additional $5,000 to $7,000 in costs, enough to choke margins across every model line. Honda, like many automakers, has absorbed these costs internally to avoid pushing customers away, but the financial strain is visible. U.S. sales dropped 18% in the second quarter of 2025. Supply chains slowed. Factories in Ohio, Indiana, and Alabama reported component gaps and extended downtime. Smaller suppliers described the environment as an industrial aftershock. If Honda is struggling to stay stable under these conditions, what happens to the rest of the sector? While the U.S. auto landscape tightens under higher costs, another story has quietly taken shape north of the border. As Washington doubled down on protectionist policies, Ottawa moved in the opposite direction. Canadian federal and provincial leaders recognized that the turmoil in the U.S. wasn't just a warning sign, it was an opening. The EV boom, once expected to accelerate rapidly, began slowing. Demand cooled across North America and Europe. Chinese oversupply pushed global battery prices down. Instead of withdrawing, Honda repositioned itself. In April 2024, the company announced the largest auto investment in Canadian history, an $11 billion plan to build a fully integrated EV production ecosystem in Ontario. This wasn't a temporary workaround, it was a long-term shift. The plan included a cutting-edge EV assembly plant, a standalone battery factory, and 2 advanced material facilities with POSCO Future M and Asahi Kasei. Together, they would form Canada's first complete EV supply chain: raw materials, cathode production, battery assembly, and final vehicle manufacturing, all in one region. When complete, the complex is expected to produce 240,000 electric vehicles per year, supported by 36 gigawatt-hours of battery capacity. Canada committed up to $5 billion in financial incentives, structured as performance-based credits rather than unconditional subsidies. Ottawa also introduced a 10% EV supply chain investment credit and a 30% clean technology manufacturing credit. While the U.S. Inflation Reduction Act stalled under partisan conflict, Canada offered something investors value far more than cash. Industry analysts now call this shift North America's replacement ecosystem. While the U.S. erected barriers, Canada built a climate of stability. Ontario's geographic advantage amplified the opportunity. Close to U.S. consumers, connected to Atlantic trade routes, and supported by renewable hydroelectric power. With abundant lithium, nickel, and cobalt reserves, Canada offered not only political stability, but also the minerals needed for next-generation EV batteries. Early projections indicate the localized supply chain could cut manufacturing costs by 20% or more, giving Honda a strategic advantage at a time when EV demand is flattening worldwide. Yet even with these advantages, Honda took a cautious turn. By mid-2025, the company confirmed a 2-year delay to its Ontario complex. CEO Toshihiro Mibe explained that global EV demand was expanding slower than forecast, and the numbers confirmed it. China's oversupply pushed battery prices down dramatically. European consumers stepped back due to rising interest rates. U.S. buyers hesitated as tariffs inflated EV sticker prices by thousands. In this climate, rapid expansion carried too much risk. Honda's pause was not a retreat from Canada, it was a recalibration. While Honda paused its timeline, the contrast between Canadian and American industrial environments became even clearer. Since 2020, Canada has attracted over $46 billion in EV-related manufacturing investments, surpassing Mexico and becoming North America's fastest-growing clean industry hub. Meanwhile, foreign direct investment in the U.S. auto sector dropped nearly 30% in the first half of 2025 as global companies redirected capital to jurisdictions offering stability rather than political swings. Economists now summarize the situation simply. The U.S. built walls, Canada built bridges, but global forces extend beyond North America. In late October, President Donald Trump embarked on a high-profile Asian tour, signing new technology and security deals with Japan and South Korea while attempting to stabilize relations with China. The agreements focused heavily on AI, semiconductors, advanced manufacturing, and critical minerals, sectors that power the auto industry beneath the surface. Washington and Tokyo agreed to expand mining cooperation for rare earths, lithium, and nickel, attempting to reduce dependence on China. In a symbolic move, Toyota agreed to export U.S.-built vehicles to Japan and to open parts of its domestic distribution network to American manufacturers. The Korean agreement centered on aerospace. Seoul is committed to major purchases from Boeing and GE Aerospace, while also pledging long-term investments into U.S. industrial infrastructure. Even so, the core trade barriers, 50% tariffs on metals, 100% tariffs on China-made EVs, steel and aluminum duties under Section 232, and automotive penalties under Section 301 remain in place. The U.S.-China understanding created stability, but no resolution. Supply chains remain stretched between politics and production needs. For Honda, for Canada, and for the U.S., the next few years will determine who controls North America's industrial future. Will Washington adjust course before more companies shift north? Will Canada's bet on stability and clean energy manufacturing pay off long-term? Or will the U.S. watch new investment corridors form without it? Thank you for watching. If you want clear, fact-based reporting on the stories shaping power and industry, make sure to subscribe to Maple States. It only takes a second and helps us grow.